Hey guys, so earlier today, we got an Indie World Showcase announced. Over on Twitter, at Nintendo America wrote, "The next hashtag Indie World Showcase is headed your way. Tune in on Tuesday, August 18th at 9 a.m. PT for roughly 20 minutes of information on indie games coming to hashtag Nintendo Switch." So August 18th is tomorrow, and that is 9 a.m. Pacific time or 12 p.m. Eastern time. You can do the math and figure out when it's going to be happening for your location. I will, of course, be live streaming this Indie World Showcase, so if you want to watch alongside with me tomorrow, feel free to do so. So a 20-minute Indie World Showcase is a fairly good amount of time to show off some indie games. I'm pretty excited about this one. This also wasn't completely out of left field and may even suggest something even more exciting happening in the near future. So what do I mean by saying this Indie World Showcase was not totally out of left field? Well, first off, Jeff Grubb has been listing interesting gaming-related things out, and if we take a look, in between August 11th and August 22nd is a wildcard spot for Nintendo. And of course, this Indie Showcase is happening August 18th and fits perfectly on this list from Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb did tweet out Wildcard in response to Pikmin 3 Deluxe being announced. However, they did further clarify the dates August 11th through August 22nd was still important for Nintendo in some way. Nintendo Everything even took this as a rumor and said Nintendo presentation potentially coming between August 11th and August 22nd. Beyond just Jeff Grubb saying a wildcard Nintendo spot would happen at some point between the 11th and the 22nd, there are even more specific things for this date. There was an official Japanese Super Smash Bros. Ultimate competition scheduled for August 16th. This was being discussed on August 10th on my Discord, and I said, earlier I heard someone who has some connections, something might happen on the 17th. The Smash tournament being the day before? And then I posted what they sent me, which just said next Monday, the 10th being last Monday. And then on August 13th, Emerald Splash wrote, "The stuff needs to happen by next week for it to match up with Grubb's predictions." Smokey Claw wrote, "PapaGenos, King Zell posted a picture of some soccer players and circled the 1 and the 7 on the jerseys." So once again, I showed the image of what I was sent that said next Monday, which is, of course, today, the 17th. And I said, I had gotten that next Monday thing told to me a few days ago, so likely something on the 17th. Isaac asked me, did your guy say he thinks it's an indie? This was mostly because of what Nate Drake was saying at the time. They were asked like a direct or an indie world, and they said for next week, as we said, indie makes sense. So most people were thinking something indie was going to happen this week. I responded to Isaac asking me if the person who told me next Monday was thinking it would be an indie. I said, actually, they think it might be Mario stuff, but they admitted they do not know, just that they heard a date, 17th, and assumed it could be when they announced Mario. But we all sort of think Mario stuff is coming at some point here, so that was just an assumption. And then I posted another message from them that said, heard a date and heard Mario's coming, assuming the two are the same. So we've had rumors for a while now that a 3D Mario collection or remasters or something are supposedly coming out, and the person I was talking to had simply heard the date of the 17th for something, and had also heard these Mario rumors and was assuming they might be the same, but obviously the 17th turned out to just be the announcement for the Indie World Showcase. So because the date the 17th had been heard, because there were rumors that something indie was going to happen this week, and because the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase was announced at midnight the day before it happened, a lot of people last night on my Discord were thinking at midnight we'd get an Indie World Showcase announcement. So here's a bunch of disappointed messages last night at midnight when nothing was announced. But everyone was expecting an Indie World Showcase to get announced for the 17th, and it didn't happen at midnight. A few hours later, Biggie H wrote, according to Nate Drake on his Twitter, he has clarified when both the Direct and Nindies will happen in the coming days. Hype responsibly, people. Nate Drake said, as we have discussed, a Direct will be next week. This week would be an indie show. And after everyone had lost hope at midnight for the Indie Showcase to actually get announced, then at 9 a.m. it was in fact announced. So with this Indie Showcase now actually announced on the 17th, instead of showing up on the 17th, is Nate Drake correct about a Direct happening next week as well? They said a Direct will be next week, this week would be an Indie show. Over on Twitter, Jaden Wilson Gaming wrote me, so this is cool to see, but if I and a few people in the comments are remembering correctly, they normally do an Indies a week or so before an actual Direct, right? That often is a trend with Nintendo, to do an Indie World Showcase, and then like the next week do a Nintendo Direct. Mass for Alligator wrote, "Here are the things that Nate Drake and Jeff Grubb recently talked about on Nate's recent podcast. Indie and most likely General Direct very soon, both before the end of the month. Jeff and Nate both think Mario 35th reveal is this month for September." And there's a bunch of other interesting things in that podcast. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Check it out. Okay, so it seems with this Indie World Showcase announced, it's pretty likely we could get an actual Nintendo Direct happening next week. So much like this one being announced on the 17th, could we potentially have an exact date for when this Nintendo Direct could either be announced or actually shown? Well, over on my Discord, Punish Deku wrote, "Various hints and nods toward a Nintendo Direct, likely on the 28th, more likely than you think." And there's an image compilation credited to Biff for Smash. Fair warning, this image compilation gets a little crazy. So it says, first off, going by Jeff, we're not getting the main event within the 11th through 22nd. Obviously now we know that's the Indie Showcase. And this was already hinted at a while ago by Nate due to saying that it's a stop when referencing Jeff's 11th through 22nd hint. Now Nate seems to be hinting at the 28th, and there is a random message from him that says, if you win, then I get 28%. Randomly using the number 28 is just, well, a bit suspicious. There's also Zell's message, which mentions the 28th, and immediately after used the word general. And if you look at that post, it says, remember, the new Captain Tsubasa game is coming on the 28th. In general, it's an arcade soccer football game. Don't miss it. He also had an image attached to that message where he circled a lot of random numbers and added in some math symbols. So clearly this is reading a lot into what some people have been writing over on Reset Era, but supposedly by using a website you can tell there's tons of ways you can get to 28 using those 3 operations and those 5 numbers. So yeah, this is sort of some conspiracy theory reading way too much into things sort of stuff here, but it just seems like the 28th might be the day something happens. Deku Edgy over on my Discord also today wrote, Jeff Grubb supporting the 28th timeframe. He also mentions it could be between now and mid-September. As he's now added to that big list of gaming things to look out for, more wildcards from Nintendo, and this is in between August and September, so end of August, the 28th, would still fit for that wildcard spot. They also tweeted out specifically, I'd say between now and the middle of September, so again, the 28th fits. And now today, Nate Drake has said, I've said Friday of next week numerous times for a Direct. Next Friday would be the 28th. So there's a decent amount of evidence there to support the possibility of getting an actual Nintendo General Direct in the very near future here, possibly next week on the 28th. Or potentially announced on the 28th, maybe it's the following Monday or something. Regardless, getting a actual Nintendo Direct, not a partner showcase or a Indie World showcase or a Nintendo Direct Mini, just an actual general Nintendo Direct. It's been almost a full year since we've gotten one. There was no E3 this year, and Nintendo has nothing for the future besides Pikmin 3. So a Nintendo General Direct seems very possible here, and wow, it's been so long since we've had one, it's almost unbelievable, but yeah, we could actually be getting a Nintendo General Direct in the near future here. We have that rumor of the Mario 3D games, either as a collection or simply separate remasters or something, supposedly showing up. So I think that would almost certainly get announced in a Direct if we were to get one. So recently Nintendo showed off this new Mario render of him sitting on the beach, and a lot of people took this as a potential hint towards something Super Mario Sunshine, which obviously those remastered 3D Mario games as a collection or whatever could of course fit for. However, I will say last year they showed off this picture of Mario on the beach eating a watermelon, so that was also taken as a potential hint for something Mario Sunshine. I think people were thinking it might be like Odyssey DLC or something. Now people are thinking maybe it's a remastered Mario Sunshine, since we already have rumors for that for this new render. So this might just be something Nintendo's doing now in the summer, these renders of Mario hanging out at the beach. But it is interesting considering we already have these 3D Mario game remastered thing as a rumor that this could be hinting towards something Sunshine, and with the possibility of a Direct in the near future, it could line up. Nintendo Wire also reported Nintendo is planning to hold a special management briefing session on Wednesday, September 16th, just 3 days after Super Mario Bros. 35th anniversary. According to journalist David Gibson, the meeting will be held in Tokyo instead of near Nintendo's headquarters in Kyoto, and will contain no new announcements of products or services. He ends the tweet saying, Direct before then? Would hope so. So of course this all fits some of these rumors we've been talking about. Mario's 35th anniversary is mentioned here, and obviously we have some rumors of a Mario 3D collection. This would also fit the time frame for Jeff Grubb's Wildcard Nintendo happening at some point between now and mid-September. Obviously September 16th is mid-September. Another interesting thing that could show up in a Nintendo Direct, over on my Discord, Floof Queen Emily wrote, Skyward Sword for Switch has been found on an Amazon UK listing, and then showed a tweet from Wario64. And over on Amazon's UK website, there is a listing for Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword for the Switch. These listings don't always turn out to be right, but some of the time they do. We had Wind Waker and Twilight Princess ported over to the Wii U, so Skyward Sword would be next in line to get some sort of remastered port for the Switch. That would be pretty cool. And speaking of Zelda, it's been over a year since we saw Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever that game's going to be called, shown off at E3. And since we didn't get an E3 this year, if we are getting a Nintendo Direct in a week or so, it would be pretty sweet to see something shown off for that game. Another hotly anticipated Nintendo title we really haven't seen anything from, and it actually got delayed a little while back, is Metroid Prime 4. Retro Studios actually recently tweeted out, "We are looking for a lead producer to join us on our journey to develop Metroid Prime 4. And this is about the closest thing we've gotten to some Metroid Prime 4 news in a long time. On my Discord, Denove wrote, "Has this game even started pre-production?" So while there is something really comical to me thinking Retro Studios hasn't been doing anything and they're just now realizing, oh right, we're supposed to be making that Metroid game, but put out an ad and see if anybody wants to be in charge of that for us. Joking aside though, I'm sure Retro Studios has been working diligently on Metroid Prime 4. In fact, a lot of games don't even have a lead producer, so them putting out an ad for that does not mean they haven't started working on this game. So something interesting happened for Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remastered recently. On my Discord, Deku wrote, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, and more info about Shin Megami Tensei 3 HD. So it has been announced that Dante from Devil May Cry will show up in Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remastered as DLC. So that's pretty cool that Dante will in fact be showing up in Shin Megami Tensei 3. There's sort of a running joke with this though. So on the European box art for the PS2 version of Shin Megami Tensei 3, there was this little sticker thing that says featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. There's been tons of memes online about featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. Obviously, people really want Super Smash Bros. Ultimate to feature Dante from Devil May Cry, so there's been jokes about adding that to the box for Smash if Dante were to get in. I do believe Dante has a very good chance at being one of our Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC characters, and having Dante show up in another game, Shin Megami Tensei, as DLC only furthers the notion that Capcom is okay with sending out Dante as DLC for games. Speaking of Smash stuff, Sakurai recently tweeted out this picture of New Pork City. The Porky statue is of course prominently displayed here, and the whole subject of Porky missing a spirit in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has been a question for debate ever since the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate base game was released and the spirit was found to not be there. Porky is an important character to both Ness and Lucas's games, and is also an important part of Smash history. He used to be a boss in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, so him not having a spirit in Smash has always not sat right with me. We have been getting a decent amount of Mother things shown off this year, that Pollyanna book from a while back, and here's some Mother t-shirts. So having something happen with the Mother series and getting Porky's spirit back into Smash alongside with that, or possibly even as a playable character, does seem like something that could be happening at some point. And this tweet from Sakurai shows Sakurai has not forgotten about Porky. And now I just want to mention some further information that has come out for things that I've talked about in some past videos. Over on Discord, Biggie H wrote me, seems like the placeholders are gone. Simple screw up or possibly more to the story. A while back, there were 9 placeholders for some coming soon amiibos on the official amiibo website, and those have now been removed. I still think adding those 9 coming soon placeholder spots probably means they were messing around with something in the code for that website, but they're now gone, so potentially we could get some amiibo announcements and maybe find out who those 9 characters actually are. My guess is they're the 9 spots for the 9 remaining Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC amiibos we should be getting eventually. We also got some interesting insight about M-Theory and how the ESRB may in fact be rating these Sakurai Presents videos based on the titles to games that show up in them. Over on Twitter, G. William wrote, I spoke to the ESRB about how logos can play a factor in promotional content regarding M-Theory in #Smash Ultimate. They then wrote me, maybe something PapaGenos would want to look at, M-Theory looking more and more credible. So this is an article over on Dexerto, and I'll leave a link to that article in the description below, but I'm just going to read the quote from the ESRB. They say the rating icon that appears in ads reflect the ratings of the product promoted in them, not the rating for the ad itself. When a compilation icon appears, it's typically because multiple rated products are promoted in an ad. So what they mean by compilation icon, if we look over on the Mr. Sakurai Presents Min Min trailer, it was E10 plus through teen. That being a compilation icon showing more than one rating. And this may be in fact because that presentation shows both Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and the Tekken logo. Smash being E10 plus, Tekken being teen. So it is completely possible that a mature rated game logo being shown in one of these Mr. Sakurai Presents videos could in fact up the rating to E10 plus through M, and Nintendo might not want that to happen. So this could be some further proof that the reason they removed the game series logos in the Mr. Sakurai Presents videos when they show off the Fighter's Pass in the American version of those presentations could in fact be because a future character might be coming from an M-rated game and they don't want to show off that series logo. As it could change the compilation rating shown at the beginning of the Mr. Sakurai Presents to E10 through M, and obviously Nintendo doesn't want that presentation to have an M rating, as that might stop some younger fans from being able to watch the presentation. Alright guys, well that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm really excited for this indie showcase. It's 20 minutes long, so there could be a lot of cool stuff in there. I'm also even more excited at the potential for a Nintendo General Direct actually happening like a week later. It's been almost a full year since we've gotten a Nintendo General Direct. I can't believe it's been that long, so it's really exciting we could actually be getting one. If you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff we talked about in this video, leave them below. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. Really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.